And we have a whole lot of guests in the studio. We have Kiara Ramklass, we have Jordan Coetzee, we have Bulelani, Benge, we have Sinako, what's this? Rooiland. Sorry, I didn't get it there. Rooiland. Welcome, guys. It's good to have you. They're going to make some music. Apparently the jury's out about the marimba.
The jury?
Yeah, the jury. Some people are trying to claim it as, Southeast Asian origin. Yeah, I think competing with Africa on our claims to it.
Yes, and you know what? In fact, South America as well. Yeah, Guatemala.
But they got it later.
Yeah. The history of the marimba is a very interesting origin story, if we can put it that way.
Oh, you want to clarify it for us?
Well, as far as we know, there's this legend about Queen Marimba in Africa, and she forged these instruments out of natural parts of the earth, so the wood and the calabashes as the resonators. And so we heard that they started in North Africa, West Africa, and as it moved down Africa, it started growing the legs that we have today. But it was played on the floor at first, and resonators in the ground used to resonate it. So I would like to claim it as African, origin.
And it's got such an earthy little vibration.
Yes.
It's like the didgeridoo. It's like just so connected with all of life, and beautiful sounds. And you get different kinds of marimbas as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about the marimbas you've brought into the studio and their function in our little time together will be.
So these are diatonic marimbas, which means they have natural notes and an F sharp. So unlike classical marimbas that might have B flats and C sharps, these just have the F sharp, and it creates quite a natural sound for us. However, across the world you get different types of marimbas made from different wood. The wood today on ours is paduk wood. It's got a beautiful high resonating sound. A lot of the marimbas at schools use kiat wood. It's a bit cheaper, made from trees, but they don't resonate as highly. So yeah, you get variations, wood, different notes.
And where do we place our order for them?
So these are made by a local ethnomusicologist in Newlands. His name is Gavin. He makes all of our marimbas. But then there's manufacturers in Grahamstown, the Eastern Cape, AMI.
So the traditional knowledge is still firmly in place?
Oh, yes. You should see Gavin's studio. He has instruments collected over the last 4 decades that are just hanging from his ceiling. And, it's part of that idea of making these instruments and not losing that knowledge of these creators that actually craft them.
I'm kind of wondering how they would have been tuned thousands of years ago. Do you wonder about that as well? Is it just pure ear?
The ears must have been great thousands of years ago. Yeah.
And Jordan, where does this love affair come from?
From Kiara.
So it's infectious, isn't it?
It is. Now, one day we were at school and we were graced in assembly with a lovely performance by Marimba Jam, and we signed up for the team, and here I am 5 years later, still with the company.
As our performing band manager.
Okay, performing band manager. Let's just go to Bulelani as well. Bulelani, you're going to step up to that microphone. Don't be shy. You got to talk close to it. Tell us about this love affair with the marimba.
Marimbas, I joined it while in high school. I didn't know anything about marimba, thanks to Kiara and the company. Now I know the instrument. It exists.
Like the sun. You say everything revolves around Kiara. Huh?
Well, she brought it upon us.
Yeah.
At school, we didn't know anything. One day we heard this melody tune, and I was like, I'm gonna join that.
Yeah.
Because I love music and exploring about arts and stuff like that. So I joined it.
Sinako, Rooiland, you're hiding away. Don't you like microphones? Just step up to the microphone. Tell us about your love affair with the marimba.
Weirdly enough, so Kiara and I have been playing since high school and primary school. We weren't playing together. I was percussion. They were the really fancy marimbas. But then we came together in high school and we did it as a subject. And we've just been playing throughout the years. I'm like that member that comes and goes, but still there, still jamming, still performing, teaching, and love it to death.
I would have imagined a name like Bulelani Benge, for example, leading the charge on marimbas, not a Ramklass. But it does also reflect just the way the marimba is being embraced by very many cultures. And I think your Marimba Jam is going to reflect that.
Yes, of course.
Talk to us about this kind of migration towards it.
So
this magnetism about it.
Yeah, our festival has a very unique philosophy. It's it's where hundreds of kids come together from over 20 schools in the Cape, and they shed their school uniforms on the stage. They come as one collective, and they play on 100 marimbas on the stage all together.
Wow.
So it's the symphony of mass marimba items being performed, and it's just a beautiful way for you to create a community around marimba and connect with students.
Is it scored?
Scored as in...
do you write the music for the 100 marimbas?
So we have a unique way of teaching music to our kids. It's all muscle memory. So our teachers learn the music, and we just give it to them through muscle memory in their lessons.
Everybody in the same note.
Yeah.
And maybe a nuance comes through as well.
Oh yes, there's harmonies, of course, variations.
You were saying, Sinako?
Everyone, we play it the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
In a way, so we all learn it the same way, but you add your own flair, you add your own little remix. So you'll hear, let's say you've all learned the same song, but you'll be like, oh, that's a little different. Oh, I like that. You just pick it up and you're just like, oh, show me this, show me that kind of
There's so much that can be done with a marimba band. I was fortunate, Dizu Plachis. I had a jazz cafe in 1994 in Adley Street, and Dizu Plachis and Amampondo introduced us to the ambits of sounds, and we would be dancing. It was absolutely amazing. I remember Mama Kaap, Sylvia Mdunielwa as well. She worked with a band back at about the same time, a young marimba band, and brought forth very many beautiful... well, I'm just happy that the marimba is alive and young people are gravitating towards it. Kiara?
It brings so much joy, and I think that's why we started Marimba Jam as a space where, you learn this instrument in school and you have a love for it, and it brings you something, whether it's healing or, just a creative place. And then when you leave school, there was not a space for us. And so Marimba Jam became that space.
Okay.
With
A
our...
post-school opportunity.
Yes.
It's still very difficult to translate it into kind of, revenue, into income for people, is it?
Well, our business model is a social enterprise business model. So we teach across the board, private schools all the way government schools, and the profits we make from these higher paying schools actually sustain all of our overheads.
But marimba players, for example, they should be
right.
at the airport
Right.
welcoming international guests and getting some money. They should be all over the waterfront. They are there or thereabouts, but they should be at all of our big tourist gathering places, shouldn't they?
We should.
That's a
We
little
really
nudge.
should.
Shot across the bow. Okay. Now you're going to play us a song. We want everybody to hear the talent in the studio and to hear the beautiful sound of the marimba. I believe you are going to step up to your instruments and you are going to play us Ndihamba Nawe. So when you are ready, you're welcome to go. Wow. Okay, so that's the kind of sounds that's going to go down 100 such. You're going to come back to the microphone, or do you want to play some more? Now, I want to know more about what's going to happen this week, and I want to get that place full, and then you can run back. I heard, was that like a bass, and that was like a soprano and an alto kind of?
Almost. Bass, tenor, and soprano we got up
Bass,
here.
tenor, and soprano, and we had Bulelani on the drums there as well. I couldn't see you. You were hiding away behind Joe, but you did come through. 100 marimbas on the stage.
It is an incredible feat for our team.
A number of schools performing. Do they perform as individuals or as schools initially and then combine into this formidable kind of offering?
No, so what happens is at least 5 or 6 schools combine per song. So you'll have about 100 learners per song performing each item. And the major mass item at the end is 450 on stage.
Wow.
Altogether.
I'd like to know what that last song is.
It's a 21st century mashup of Happy, Pharrell Williams, Titanium, and Raw, just to end on a powerful.
You're going to get that standing ovation, clearly. Well sculpted, well engineered, that standing ovation. Where does it happen?
It's at the CTICC, Auditorium 1. And yeah, we got lots of schools coming through, MPO groups, parents. Yeah.
And is there still place for people who want to join you?
That is such a great question. We are almost sold out. So tickets are still available on Quicket. But, you know, I think we're going to sell out tomorrow. So get them now.
I'm worried about that CTICC. It does present a lot of acoustic kind of challenges.
You know what? We wanted to do an orchestra pit, and they told us the orchestra pit has not been open in the last 14 years. So we're not sure how much music actually goes on in that Audi, but I think we're going to just bring the house down. Yeah,
well, it's a different kind of sound as well. So hopefully it's going to fit in there, because I just don't want acoustics to change, you know, what should be a very absolutely beautiful and magical kind of experience. I don't think we've ever encountered 100 or 450 marimbas in one go.
We are going to bid for the Guinness World Record next year, and this is our taster of what it could be like. So I think it's going to be an incredible feat for us. The current world record is held by Guatemala with 505 marimba players.
You've got to bring it back.
We're going to bring it back.
505? Yeah, it needs to come back to the origins.
We're going to get it next year, 2024.
That is huge, absolutely huge. It does suggest that there's been a lot of work happening behind the scenes, that the schools have been getting together and that they've been rehearsing for a while now.
Yes, they've been learning in their lessons, but the beautiful thing is they come on Saturday morning and they put everything together for the first time, meeting one another on stage. So that's the beauty of this festival and the connections.
Do they play in their school uniforms, or do they combine into one?
Every single person wears a Marimba Jam t-shirt, so we are one ensemble.
Kiara, Ramklass, you're the brainchild of this project. You have that Guinness Book of World Records in your sights. What else is it that you're seeking out of this engagement?
This engagement, I think, is all about our motto, finding harmony in community, and really about seeing one another for the fellow marimba player that we are, no matter what school, no matter what community we come from. And I think that, to me, is the underlying power of forging these friendships on stage with a common love for playing marimba.
And all we're going to wish you is strength. We know it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you for uniting people through the marimba. It's appreciated. Thank you for being here.